Namaskar. Good evening, friends.
Evening.
Today we meet on a topic which is not generally discussed, not even known. And this is a topic I think which aroused my curiosity a lot. So I thought I'll get some people around. And I have two very special guests with me. We have Reverend Johnson, who is, and we also have Father Antony. Reverend Johnson Thakedale is an ordained priest of EC Evangelical Church of India. He's an educator, former principal of EC Evangelical Church, and a renowned speaker, prominent debater with the Muslim community. And he also runs de-addiction centers with the help of needy and downtrodden. He assists government in disaster management, and he has represented India in UN Development Convention. And he has also been seen on TV recently, as I've been told. And Father Antony is an activist in his own way. Today, we will discuss the very basics of what ails Christian community when we talk of Love Jihad, because we have heard about it a lot. There is daily report about how girls have been cheated and made to marry. Then there has been a lot of torture, etc. And some have ended up in ISI also, especially from Kerala. Though Love Jihad has been around for a long time as a public discourse, people have simply denied it. It's also a fact that in 1998, as I have read that 98, the first case in the court was done by the church about the disappearing of girls, Christian girls, and it was termed Love Jihad in Kerala itself. So today we'll begin a discussion specifically about what Indian Christians' perspective on Love Jihad. So my first question to Reverend Johnson is, when was the first time when Love Jihad in Kerala was discussed or it came into open?
Thank you very much, and a very good evening to all. I am very much thankful to our anchor who invited me to share all these things. In fact, 2008 was the first time we identified such cases in our state. Before that, we came to know that sort of things are going on, and we were aware of it, but it was not seen anywhere. I remember a particular case in 2008 when I conducted a massive program there in Ernakulam, the central part of Kerala, on regarding that debate, Islamic debate with Janab M.M. Akbar. There I declared that sort of Love Jihad is going on. I may be the first person who shared it from Christian side in a public manner. And in those days, our people were not much curiosity about it. But later we came to know that it is a pandemic. It is just like a pandemic, and we need to worry about it. And many of our youngsters already been trapped by those people. I particularly remember two incidents. The first one was there in Pathanamthitta. Pathanamthitta, two girls. Both of them were postgraduates, and they were fall in love with jihadi people. And when they ran away from the home and reached there somewhere else, they understood that these people, they are planned to sell them to someone else. And from there, somehow they have absconded and escaped, and somehow God helped them to come out. And those two girls publicly declared that they are the victims of the Love Jihad. Thereafter, even the churches was very much concerned about it. And later, our former Chief Minister, Comrade V.S. Achyutanandan, he himself said that people are trapped, youngsters were trapped, many women were trapped, and they have an agenda to trap people for this Love Jihad. So that was the first time that we came to know these kinds of issues.
And I got a document. I would like you to verify whether this document is correct, which claims that so far 4,500 girls have been identified as missing of a particular denomination of church, and the cases are not even like the police. So can you clarify on that whether this claim is correct?
Even when the former Chief Minister Sri Ummanchandi, he declared that our legislative assembly stating that 2,350 people were missing, and many of them were embraced other religion, and they were gone to somewhere else and not finding them out. But as far as our concern, it is more than 4,000 people have been missing from our churches. It is not a particular church, but from a Christendom, from all over Kerala, we are missing a lot of young women, and some of them, of course, they are coming back, and we are trying to get them back, even if they were hooked and misused by some others. We wanted to rehabilitate them, and we are working on that. Thank you.
And Father Antony, would like to add anything to this? What is your experience about whether you've been able to trace the girls? Or I would also like to know, since all the cases are not with police and FIR has not been lodged, what is the reason for this? And how did you trace those girls?
Thank you, Ratan sir, and good evening to all. This is very difficult to trace the cases or we go to the court or to the police, because most of the cases, when we understand or when we understand that one girl is trapped, she is no more a minor. Normally it's a major. And when we go to the police, they decide what their future. And so normally we cannot handle the case. For example, once this is one of our youths did, or two youths did the case. One girl was trapped when she was in the 9th standard. And the family didn't know. This is one family from where I live in North Kerala. And these young people, they are Christians. When they knew about this, they went to the house of this girl. At that time, she was 18. And first, they informed the parents. And that is the first time how they were informed about the case. They didn't know about this. And when they spoke with the parents, the girl understood the case and she was so furious. And she was so reluctant to speak with these people. At the end, they told her that it was not so. They wanted to learn something about this or about Islam. And so then they had to speak with this girl for 7-8 hours. At the end, some kind of conviction comes so that they could bring or ask the family to bring this girl to a counseling center where she can be handled. The problem is they are brainwashed. This happens in maybe 2 or 3 days. How they do this, it is difficult to understand. When they trap the girls in the schools or when they go to college also, and once they are trapped, this is very difficult to get out of this brainwashing, let's say. That's how this goes. There are so many cases. With one youth whom I spoke these days, he himself has handled more than 300 cases in the nearby communities. He himself. So that is how serious the issue goes to the community. And often they are recruiting Christian or Hindu teachers, and they are sending them to certain programs, training program. And after the training program, these people are used to recruit the students or to influence the students. That is how it goes. So serious.
Okay. So would you say, because you say girls are adults, I mean, whether it's Hindu or Christian girl, ultimately police say they are adult, they can decide, and there have been very prominent cases like this. But do you think these are isolated cases or these are typically organized rackets which are happening. So, what is your conviction?
This is organized because in the schools, the girls are the jihadi girls are trapping girls. They are trained to do so, as far as I understand. They are controlled by someone. And for example, when in a school, when they find a Hindu or Christian girl, if she's beautiful or she has money or he has a good family setup, and these girls, if they are somewhere isolated, these girls are oriented and they are helped in every way. Often the class notes are prepared or written by these friends, the so-called friends, and they help them in every way so that some way they get dependent on the students. They are actually jihadis. They are these girls from the community. And once they are somewhere dependent or too friendly with them, they introduce to some boys. And as far as I understand, these boys are at the beginning, they show as if they are not interested at all. So that these girls are attracted. At the end, they're trapped, and they are well planned and well executed, let's say. So it's not isolated cases, they're well planned.
So you say that these are organized people. When you say they, earlier we used to say these are Simi people. Now Simi has been banned. So when you say they, do you suspect they are PFI or SDPI, or they are just some scattered people who are being financed by somebody? So because after all these romantic overtures need money also. So what has been your experience, or it is only a hunch?
What I understand, what Johnson can add more, but what I understand is this is well organized, and money, of course they need money, because if you go to the tuition centers, for example, one of the areas which the students now need is tuition, or they go after tuition centers. And this I understand from some advocates, for example. They have often WhatsApp groups. And these WhatsApp groups are, they run as they go, but they are managed by someone behind. And from behind the groups, they learn the interest of the students. What she is interested, what is her hobbies, what she wants, or what she wanted but didn't get. And when a birthday or some celebration comes, gifts are sent to these students in the name of the institute where they study. So what we should understand with this, they are well organized. As far as I understand, well, Johnson may add something.
Johnson, you would like to add to your own in the way of
because mostly our people are very poor. They are hailing from a poor background. And when they require financial support, parents may not be able to support them. So naturally, they'll depend on the people whom they can support. So their friends will offer sort of support, and they will go along with them. And nearby all the institutions, they have started Quran Hadith classes. Even in Calicut, NIT is one of the prominent institutions in India. So nearby there is an institution called, an organization called Niche of Truth. Niche of Truth is run by the fanatic groups like Akbar Sahib and all. And Dr. Zakir Naik was also funding towards it. And what happened, people goes there, and when they reach over there, they put forward certain questions which is confusing people. Naturally, the youngsters may not very much comprehensive with the Bible or Vedas or anything like that. Immediately they will be puzzled. And these people put up certain scriptures from their own scripture and ayats from their scriptures, and that will catch them up. So that will be the initial phase in which they are trapping people. So gradually, when the support comes, they are bound to obey them. They are bound to obey them. They visit their homes, they provide them enough and more, and also supply whatever they require. Along with that, they will have the romance too. So that is what the people in their age require. No? So in that way, they are trapping youngsters.
But since you say, Mr. Johnson, that they also visit homes, naturally parents and family also get involved and they are also aware or they become aware later on. So
Yeah.
what trauma the family goes into? Do the parents reach out to you to search the girl or try to find out whether they can get her back? And then what is their trauma? How do they handle it? What about the church helps them handle the trauma?
Yeah, it's a very good question. And I tell you, this is not only for the women, the girl side, from the men's side also. Young
Okay.
men also were trapped by the young girls. And
Okay.
those things we call as a Romeo Jihad. We have a love jihad as well as Romeo Jihad, in which the Romeo Jihad, young men will be trapped. I remember one incident which I handled down personally. The mother came to me for helping her son, and he was a good player. Player in the sense he was one of the champions in Kerala state,
Okay.
cricket player. So this young man, when he was 15 years old, he was done the circumcision without informing the parents. Of course, his father was expired and his mother was looking after him. So he went on along with other people and did a lot of mischiefs. And later, mother came to know that he embraced the other religion. So she was very much concerned and worried and came to me for help. And I went after him. I asked many questions in which he kept silence. Whenever he does not want to answer, he just put a smile upon his face. That's all. So this is the way they were trained up. I understood later that they have a massive plan like this. They are training up the youngsters to trap other people to their nets. We don't know how they approach them, but whenever there is a requirement from the boy side or girl side, they are there with all the help. So only after few years the parents will come to know this matter. Once they come to know this matter, you know how much worries they have, because they never thought that their children will deceive them or their friends will deceive them. They blindly believe their children as well as their friends. So once they will come to know that these children are gone away from them, immediately they get a lot of mental crisis. I remember another incident where I had to take that mother to psychiatrist for a long time for the treatment. So these kinds of traumas people are going through. Financial crisis will be there on one side. The other side, a lot of pressures from their own parents. I mean, family members. Once they comes to know that the religion was changed, immediately there will be a lot of taboos. They will declare that these people are not allowed for our marriage functions or social activities and all. So they will be get aloof from all other societies, and the pain in which they are going through. So in those time, we used to visit them and we help them and we pray along with them, try to comfort them, also try to bring the youngsters back. By God's grace, I could do some of those things, bringing them back like that. No, sort of things I could do, and I thank God for that.
It was very interesting to know when you say you were able to bring them back. What is it? Is it question of lack of faith that you try to turn them back to their faith, or is it some confusion that you try to take away? Because what I heard from other sources also in case of Hindu girls also, they simply refuse to speak, like you talked about the boy. So then what is it that you really explain to them that they understand there is some confusion in their mind and they would like to return to their roots? So how does it happen?
Yeah. In the Bible, according to our perspective, God created man in his own image and likeness. So once we are abiding with God's presence, we have that likeness and image of God. Once we are leaving the presence of the Lord, we automatically lose it. Once we lose the image and likeness of God, people are just like animals. They may not know what to do and how to do and what to choose and what not to choose. So these youngsters, they automatically attracted towards a lot of things, and they were changing their religion because of the unfaithfulness. Because of the unfaithfulness, they won't go to church or recite the prayers, or they won't read the scripture. So those ways these people are getting aloof from our community. Then when we are talking all these things, they get repent and they will come back.
Okay.
That is one thing. The second thing, people are not aware that they were trapped. Only when they realize after few years or maybe after few months, they will realize that they are trapped by these people. It was purposefully, deliberately they were trapped. So they wanted to come out, and they will come out when we are extending our support.
So do you have any case where the girls have actually been sent out, like we hear the cases of ISI? Did you have such cases?
Yeah, it was in the newspapers. Many people were discussed in a number of times, and two girls from Christendom, they embraced Islam, and they got married with the two boys, and they both of them are gone to Syria for ISI programs, and now their husbands were shoot up, and these two girls are widows. We don't know where they are, and they wanted to come back and all, but the government is reluctant to take them up, it seems.
Okay, okay. So now to talk about the politics behind Love Jihad and continuous denial of the Love Jihad. So what is the role of political parties? Because it becomes crucial unless you get the people in power, your struggle becomes a little difficult. So how is the Kerala scene in terms of giving support to this kind of things, which actually disrupt the social harmony? So what is the political scenario? Which kind of groups and what kind of groups are there who actually encourage this, or is there any support from the government or from the police which helps you, stop this kind of disturbance the society, or girls going away, or boys, as you also told, boys also going away? So, is there some encouragement from the political parties for Love Jihad or neutrality, or some support to you?
See,
Because there are Christian parties also in Kerala. There are parties who are typically Christian parties. Do they even support?
Yes. See, in Kerala's demography, we three major religions are almost equal. See,
Right.
maybe slightly differentiation, but we all are living as a very harmoniously in our state. Very harmonious, and you cannot even imagine the way that we were embracing each other and helping each other, and still it is going on. There is no such problems, just because the majority of the people are least bothered about all these things. They are helping other people, and we give and take policies are there. But the political scenario in Kerala now, these people, the jihadi people, they infiltrated in all the political parties. All the political parties, somehow they infiltrated, and some of the major parties cannot speak out. So they play the neutrality, as you said. And some other people, even the Kerala Congress M is considered to be the Christian party or the Christian majority political party. They are also in neutral in certain areas, because they feel that once we are open up our mouth, our democracy will be spoiling. So instead of speaking out the truth, they keep silence, which havoc the entire society. But if you are talking the truth with the love and concern, I think this problem can be settled down soon and very soon. If all the politicians, especially including our government and the opposition leaders, if they are come together and sit together and talk about these issues, major issues that people are afraid, people are having curiosity. If they sort out and settle down, I think there will be a permanent solution from our community.
Right. Father Antony, would you like to add anything to what Mr. Johnson has said? Your personal experience in this field?
It's what he said is right. Political parties are more interested in the votes, the number of votes, and then they want to get the position. More, they are not interested, as far as we understand. Both leftists and rightists, both are the same now, as it seems.
And when there are cases in the court, I am told that you generally get more support from Hindu lawyers than from other lawyers. Is it true, or is it just an impression? because
In
there
the
are
court, the law, I think there is no love jihad according to the law definition. So it cannot be handled in the court as far as I understand this. There is no definition of love jihad in the law. So when we
judge has gone to the court, so they were the earliest to go to the court, right?
yes,
Yeah.
Precisely, I cannot say. Johnson, what do you say?
Yeah. See, even the Supreme Court itself verified regarding this matter, and the central government, the minister also declared that Lok Sabha there is no case such as, because it's a concept. Love Jihad is a concept, it is not an organization. When we have an organization set up, surely we can verify it and identify. There will be physical revelations regarding this matter. Sort of glimpse will be there. But when we are talking about the concept, how do we talk all those things? It's a concept in the minds of certain people, and it's a part of their religiosity. It's a part of their practices of their religiosity. We talk about the 5 pillars of the Islam, whereas some of the core members of the Islamists, they say there are 6 pillars. The 6th one is the jihad. So Love Jihad is one of the programs of the jihadism. Jihadism is there, and Love Jihad and Romeo Jihad are 2 sides of a coins, where people are trapping the youngsters for the growth of the religion. They wanted to increase their population, so they can have fightings or a war. Also, they can have a love or care or support or sort of charity work through which they can attract people towards their religion. So they wanted to propagate their religion through various medias and increase their numbers.
In fact, generally speaking, when we discuss or debate in the TV debates and when we write about it, generally say we define love jihad where the other person hides his or her religion, then tries to trick the person, then later on discloses the identity. Does it happen in your community also, or is it straight away they know what they're getting into?
Yes, of course. They say that I'm not religious and I want to live as not as a religious, so we will have a secular life, and we will be a model to the community. And sometime we have cases in our church where they come to the church and they get baptized. That means they accept our religion. Okay. And then after that, they just reject and go and do what they want.
Okay.
That happens.
Okay. So now coming to another important aspect, which I talked to one of my friends who actually introduced me to you. He talked that there are some campaigns on the social media which I have tried. I also tried special classes on Sundays to tell the youth about what exactly your religion is and how to, if there is a case of this kind of misplaced romance, then how are you using social media and your own pulpit to educate your followers?
To me?
Yeah, you can answer first, then Johnson can.
We have our parish system normally, and we have some control of our people. So we have a Sunday school system or youth classes and so on, and we use also social media. This is a recent problem. So the system is only developing. For example, in 2020, we have the supreme authority, that is our synod of the Syro-Malabar Church. It has made 2 important decisions regarding this. Okay. One is in this 2020, the bishops decided to make an inquiry into all cases of love jihad, the so-called. And that will be conducted. It is not over, I think, because the precise data is not known. Often people are also reluctant to publish the data. Second is they have, I can read the important 2-3 points of the synod, from the synodal news. what the bishops told, that is, we have also to see with the great seriousness the killing of girls who were entrapped through love relationships. Inter-religious love relationships happening in Kerala on an accelerating scale are endangering religious harmony and social peace, causing a lot of anxiety. Planned entrapment of Christian girls is a real fact. The fact that Christian girls are recruited to join IS terrorist organizations should be an eye-opener. This is based on the news which was Father Johnson was referring to. These instances should not be viewed as affecting the inter-religious harmony in the state. The Synod requests the government to view such actions as terrorist activities or as acts that affect badly the existing social harmony and not as religious conflict. The Synod also decided to make the parents aware about the dangers involved in such relationships since its introduction. So this is how from the center it says. So the church is aware of the problem. The problem is on the ground level, this is not so much active, let's say. There are groups or communities where they are well aware of the system. There are communities where not aware of the program. But we are struggling hard to get to the minds of the people. Every day, I think we have success. But still there's a lot of work to do because these people are working through the loopholes. If the law gives a loophole, they are using to introduce their system into the society and or even our rural legal system. That's what we find in the hijab issue and so. Where there's a gap, they try to fill that with the new law. That's what I understand.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, you also, I heard that there are also now clubhouse discussions with other community, Muslim community and Christian community. So how is that going on, the exchange of ideas? Does it always remain harmonious, or there are also some...
It started with the harmonious, but now it is fighting each other and putting accusations each other, which is... it's not at all good for our society's well-being. One thing I wanted to add along with our father, Tarakadavil, see, we as a Christians now in Kerala, we have different denominations, but we are forgetting those denominational barriers and are coming together. And we are trying to help our youngsters who are in doubt, who are in need of a lot of encouragements, who are in need of social inclinations and all. So we are coming together and also trying to produce one handbook for all the questions will be answered to their doubts and all that we are planning, and it will produce immediately if God willing. The other thing, even Muslim community, some of the good Muslims, they are also opposing it. They are saying that Love Jihad and Romeo Jihad are not, it should not take place in our society. They are against of it. We wanted to bring them also in the front line along with the other communities, and we wanted to stand together saying that if you love a girl, there won't be any problem at all. If you love a boy, that is all natural thing that you can do it. But for the sake of increasing your religion, adding people to your religion, if you're doing it, is a very wrong thing. It's unethical thing. That's what we are claiming, always sharing. So we wanted to protect our people. We wanted to, it's not a social discriminations or any society, what's called inclusion of the societies, but we wanted to accommodate everyone with the love and with care. Along with that, we wanted to see that our people are not trapped. That's all.
So coming to the last part, since you talked about the various denominations coming together to fight this evil, as we can say, what about cooperation with the other communities, let us say Hindus or various denomination of Hindus, Do you plan or do you have any such cooperation with the communities which are typically out of fold of Abrahamic religions? A bit tough question, but is there any plan or is it happening that you are also able to cooperate with other communities? First step is fine that at least the church is domination talking to each other. But are we also talking to other communities outside the church fold?
Sure, that's what I said. Even including Muslim community, some of the educated and well-known people, they are opposing the love jihad and Romeo jihad. They're saying it should not take place in our state. So we wanted to bring them along with us, and also the Hindu brothers and sisters who are also going through the same problems and worries. I remember one incident, since we have a counseling center, one lady was brought to me. It was, I think, 15 years back, 2005. That was those days, Love Jihad was not that much prominent. One Sushila, she is hailing from a Nambudri family from Kannur district itself, and she embraced Islam, and she was married to three people, and having two children. And she was facing sort of psychic problems after the husbands were leaving her, one by one. So we were helping those people and supporting them to find out their livelihood and other things. So we wanted to bring all the societies together to eradicate such crimes from our states.
Wonderful.
Let me add something to that.
Yeah, please, sure. Yeah,
as we experience our society, as I was a child, we had a mixed group. Christians lived there, Hindus lived there, and the Muslims lived there. We were like one family. I personally brought food from my family to the Muslim houses, and they ate it happily, and they brought their food to our family, and we ate it. The same with the Hindu families. We had no problem. And this problem happened in recent years through some kind of these studies or terrorist studies, let me call it that way. And the community is getting so one different from the other, or estranged from the other. We want to get back to the society where everyone respects the other, everyone greets the other, everyone loves the other, everyone takes. Now the problem is, if I'm a father, I have a child, I am afraid to send my girl to the school because there's a problem. Before it was not so. Before, every family cared for all the children. So we want to get back into the track, into the society where we began, or where that was the social setup before. Nothing else. That is what we all like to have again, once again, the society, the glorious society of Indian society, let's say.
So I would close this discussion for the present. I hope we can have more exchange and more discussions in the coming days with the more in-depth analysis, more in-depth discussions. This was an exploratory program that I had. We haven't met, we don't know each other, but still we had trust in each other that we agreed to come together to discuss this serious issue, which is disturbing the social harmony, not just in Kerala. It's happening all over India, especially in North, and also in other parts, Rajasthan, etc. You can see stories regularly. It happened in UK also. In fact, UK case is so notorious that is horrible. So knowing this situation, I think we need to keep on talking. We need to come to some common ground. We need to cooperate with every community so we can find a solution. This my religion is superior to yours, and I must bring you out of that religion, etc. This thought has to go out. And if somebody wants to do his or own after studying and decides, that's one thing. But this issue of trying to misrepresent yourself, then convert people, and then try to increase your flock, I would say, I think somewhere in India, this needs to also, some rethinking is required. So with this, we will close this session, and thank you, Father Antony. Thank you, Reverend Johnson. And I hope we meet again and take this forward and discuss it at length. Because I didn't want to get into a theological issue or anything which could have, which I would call, typically different kind of debate. I wanted more of a discussion, so we are aware of this. Because how serious the issue is with Christian community in Kerala is not yet known. People are not at all aware. The numbers I was given was shocking even in my mind, because these are much more than what government claims, what the official figures speak, and the struggle that you're going through. I think Kerala is in a huge ferment because of sudden induction of Islamist forces. Islam was there for a long time. In fact, second oldest mosque in the world is in Kerala, and everything was going harmonious, except, of course, we can't forget the Mopla violence. But otherwise, politically, things were stable. But now, unnecessarily, these radicalism is coming up. So I think we need to discuss more openly about it, so we can see that Kerala doesn't implode. And with this, I thank you very much, and we will meet again. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Dhanyavad.